Okay, sorry about that. I'm back again. So let's talk about scales, which are produced when shedding of the dermis. A scar, we all know what that is, staining and abnormal discoloration that remains after moles and freckles or liver spots disappear, or certain diseases. Tumours, there are normal cell masses or nodes, ulcers, and I haven't touched on all of them, guys. There is quite a few. Inflammation of the skins, there are several different types of inflammation of the skin that is also known as dermatitis. Inflammation affections or raised or broken skin is presented. It did not work on the inflamed area. Be very careful when working on a client who suffers from these disorders. The skin is very sensitive and the condition may be aggravated by chemicals. So eczema, psoriasis are probably the two biggest ones that can be aggravated. Now, I know most of you know what eczema is. And psoriasis is a chronic inflammation around dry patches that are covered with a coarse silvery scales. It's usually found on the scalp, elbows, knees, chest, lower back, but rarely on the face. So infections of the skin, you can get athlete's foot, herpes simplex, ringworms. And then the other thing we need to look at is pigmentations of the skin. So like albinism, I think most of you know what albinism is, where the skin doesn't have its pinkish white, it doesn't tan. So then you have closumara, which are the brown spots on the skin, or liver spots or moss spots, freckles, birthmarks, tans. So these things, and we need to know the differences for them, with them. So, you know, then we can talk about growths of the skin. A keratomoma or a callus, which is the thickened patch of the dermis, or a corn, for an example. Then you have your moles, which you're not supposed to touch or remove hair from, and I'm guilty of that. And then you have your malic carcinomas, which are fatal skin cancers. So, you know, we do need to be aware of these things, which leads us back into now our clients' consultations. So when you're asking your clients certain questions and that, you're looking at their nails, their skin, you're asking them, do they have any allergies? What services do they want? What kind of lifestyle do they lead? What is the client's final decision about the nail services? So, and you know, sometimes it's good to say no, to say when. A good consultation sometimes excludes referrals to other professionals. When existing problems can't be solved by you. Never perform a manicure or pedicure on a nail or skin to be worked on is inflamed, broken or swollen. Keep a list of dermatologists in your area. Tactfully suggest that your client should visit one, and where they're conveniently located. You can emphasize the particular problem, and that once it clears up, you can help them maintain perfectly healthy hands, feet through regular manicures, pedicures. Nail technicians who follow this procedure say that their clients are appreciative, and they do. I had one who had gotten a fungal mold infection. I helped her out as much as I could. She came back, she brought me flowers, she did all kinds of things. So, what does a good client card have on it? Should have name, home, address. You should have, you can ask for a work address. I'm just putting Addie here, and phone number. You want their home or mobile, because these days we do mobiles numbers. I just normally ask for a contact number. So next important thing on a client card. When is the best appointment time? That's a huge thing, because it shows them, you know, and it helps you with rebooking. And, you know, sometimes clients don't want to rebook straight away, so then it also gives you a rough idea with your regulars, you know, oh, so-and-so is likely to book in at this time. So that is a really, really good one to have on it. So, next you'd want to know what type of work do they do. You want to know what sports / hobbies they do or play. Do they wear gloves, housework and gardening? Now, I mean, on my client cards, they're just brief little things so I know to ask these things. Do they spend time on their nails? That can I include nail biting. You know, I want to know if they're a nail biter. I want to know if they paint them themselves. I want to know if they've had them. That's another question. Sorry, it should be how often do you get them I'm spelling stuff wrong. Yeah, we done. You guys get it. Getting to the end of the day, and I've done so many videos today, it's not funny, so I'm getting tired. Yeah, see, there should be no S's there. So anyway, then you should ask for a medical record. And, you know, do they have arthritis, cancer, diabetes, heart problems, high blood pressure? Yes or no? what types of medications they're taking, if any at all. Is there any medical conditions? I've run out of room on my whiteboard. Is there any any medical conditions or medications you should be aware of? I ask, are they pregnant? And do they have any young children in their care? Now, just because it's an older lady doesn't mean that they don't babysit the grandchildren at home. So I ask everyone that question because, you know, if you're looking after kids, you don't want huge, big, long talons. They need to be able to cope. So on the back of my client card, I have date, then I have service performed. Sorry about that. And then I have observations. So, you know, that's where nail biter. So today is the 8th, I think, of the 10th, on 14. You've come to see me for a full set gel nails. Then I list. I have taken shine off. I have used twice nail pure plus. I have used my dehydrator, and I can't think of what it's called at the moment, so I just put can't spell either. Then tips, I'm using tips, primer, and I normally prime and then glue my tips on, do one prime, then stick my tips to my primer and then prime, and then I prime as I put product on. Then I put my Performance Plus. So as you can see, I put down a very detailed list. I'm not going to keep going. And there'll be another column after observations, which will be price that didn't fit. But I make sure my client cards are very detailed because I had a client who worked at a fish and chip shop in Blackwater. She was a chronic lifter, and it was from working in the oil, constant oil. It took me, so I guarantee my work, it took me 5 goes before I could get product to stick to her nails properly, so I didn't have lifting problems. So it's very important to keep a very detailed client list. You can also, in price or in observations, if I've sold retail products, I will list it there as well. So we're at the end of the informational stuff. Now I'm going to start moving on to basic procedures. So we're going to, I'll use Taylor, we're going to talk about manicures. So, you know, I'll talk about equipment and what we need and ergonomics and implements and what's the best things that you should be using and not. Remembering everything from state to state is very, very different. And then I will perform again a manicure and tailor. And then we'll start to go into what French manicures are and polish on my hands. So now we get into the good parts. We'll still have some theory stuff going on, and I will do the theory videos before I do the practical ones. So until next time, guys, keep safe and I'll talk to you all soon.